Hey guys, welcome and good evening. I am John W., and with me today is a long term friend, former work colleague, IT professional, single father, tennis enthusiast, music maker. Seems we have a trend on the show from last week as well. A lot of the same notes, but my good friend, the one and the only Mr. Gajadar Srinivas, or as we call him, GS. GS, thanks for being on the show.
Hey, same here. Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely. So I'm pumped, man. We've talked a lot over the years about everything from IT and personal growth. We met working at one of the larger firms that services both the U.S. and India, and we worked on several projects together. And IT is what brought us together, and also something that we can complain and bitch about because the problems, even though we fix them, they still remain the same. But
Yeah.
so let's go into how are things going with your music? You've been doing the music for years. You've taken a little bit of a break. You're getting back into it. What's inspired you to get back into doing it?
Yeah. So, so I took a long break in terms of music, and then while I wanted to start back, I thought this Apple comes with all of latest updates.
Hmm.
So once I updated my Mac, most of my tones have gone. So I'm reworking on all those things, trying to reinstall and setting it up. But I have some thoughts about creating a portal or a website with some interesting music loops that I can share with people of all genres, different kinds of music. That's something which I'm thinking to do beyond my current IT job.
Hmm.
Uh, the IT job is also keeping me very busy. I'm putting my hands to many kind of roles here.
Right.
Uh, I was primarily into delivery, right?
Hmm.
So now I'm trying to put my hands into sales and
Oh,
pre-sales and things like that. So getting pretty interesting at
you're
work as well.
you're the guy that we used to bitch about. You know that, like, because we'd always be like, "How did these sales guys do this to us?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
but
I see that now. I'm in that position, right?
right.
So where I make all the proposals, the presentations, all those ching jang things, and then the salespeople come and say, "No, this is not what I want. This is what I want." I said, "Boss, this is how you sell. Don't sell like this." Because
Hmm.
once you sell, you go away. Then the delivery people are the ones who are struggling, actually, right?
Right.
So I'm able to be there and put that balance in place and try to fulfill. So I just completed two major proposals, and it's really pretty interesting to work in that space as well.
Great.
Yeah.
So.
Apart from that, yeah. Now I am playing a lot of tennis.
Mhm.
Um, in fact, there is a local tournament that happens, right?
Okay.
What they do is once you register, they have a list of people. They start mapping you with uh, some random person, and they give you the contacts. And then all I have to do is call that person, fix a date, fix a place, and then we play a tennis. We play a game, and then we kind of put the scores online.
Okay.
So it's interesting, but I meet a lot of new people and also play some tennis and things like that. So that's another interesting area that I'm taking forward.
That's awesome. I know you're in a bigger city in North Carolina, and being able to have the access to seeing people that are enthusiastic about a sport. I'm very enthusiastic about going and playing frisbee golf, and I don't know
Um,
of any kind of meetup app with frisbee golf. I got to look into that. That'll be pretty cool. But it's being able to get with people who enjoy tennis, being able to say, "Hey, I'm here. I'm free these days. Let's go play. We'll post the scores," and then I guess they pair you with other people based on how you scored, and
yeah,
you get a season. How many people do you have to play, and do they determine a big winner at the end, or?
no, the fees is pretty less. Like it's about 25-30 bucks. That's all. But
Okay.
you get to play at least 7-8 games easily, even if you keep losing, right?
Okay.
So I think once you win, you go on the right side, and once you go on the lose, you start going on the left side. So the pairs keep going this side or the other side, and you get some players, right? And
Hmm.
they have different levels where you can enroll yourself into, right? So like 2.5 is the lowest level they have, 3 and 3.5, 4, and things like that. So I am right now at 3. Um, uh, But it's nice to play. I win some games, but I lose some. But more than winning or losing, I enjoy meeting people and playing. Right? It's
Yeah,
really nice hanging out with someone for a couple of hours who I had never met, and then after the game we hang out and we talk about and something and about what you're doing, what I'm doing, and then we become some good friends.
good.
So
That's
it's nice
awesome.
to yeah, it's a good networking in a different way.
Yeah, I know that so much of the networking done in our, I want to say like working lives between 20 and 70 at this point. No more retirement at that 55, 65 anymore shit. But, so much of our working lives is really networking with people that we work with. So it's nice to be able to see outside of a more traditional, I guess people are like, "Oh, I'll go to the bar and meet people." But it's like, "Nah, let's do something that's more active, more positive that like people would enjoy." So I think it's really cool. So
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
got my homework out that I need to see if they're doing something like that for frisbee golf, and if they are, I'm gonna have to join it and play against some people and show them this righteous underarm throw that I got.
yeah. You should find if there is any clubs or something like that,
Yeah.
right? So there is for tennis, there is a club called Lake Norman Tennis Club hereby. So they conduct events, like for example, on Halloween, they conducted an event called Play in the Dark, right?
Okay.
So it was like all this, what do you say, neon lights kind of things
Hmm.
where it's dark, but you can see the ball. You can see
Yeah.
people wearing some, glowing dresses. And people came with all fancy dresses, and then they offered drinks and all those things. It was still fun. Right? A
Awesome.
few hours of good fun it was. So probably even for frisbee golf, you should find some club there where they might organize. Oh, you start one. Why
Yeah.
don't you start one? That should be a good idea, right?
So, uh, and I may have to. I know that there's a heavy group of people who do the Pro Tour in this area. I think actually the 2020, 2021 winner of the Pro Tour is in this area. So that was
Mm-hmm.
pretty cool. And my buddy did one of the, I want to say about 5 years ago, he did something with frisbee golf where, like you were talking about at night, what they did is they took glow in the dark frisbees and they shine a light on them, charge them up so you can see it, and then you throw them
Yeah.
at dark. And the holes would have lighting, but then everything else is dark, and you would throw your disc and you couldn't really see the trees, and it was fun. And I told him, I was like, I want to do it. And he's like, yeah, and we never did it. So I was like, well, shit. But no, it's definitely fun. And then we'll have to go. I guess the other sport I'm passionate about that we got to do was throwing axes. I love that. We'll have
Right,
to
right.
we'll have to do that again.
Good, good.
But so let's see. You've got the boys. The boys are doing well. I know. Speaking of
Boys are doing
tennis,
well. My elder one is again, I mean, he's the one who inspires me to play tennis as well. He's good.
right?
He plays for the school. He's a topper in his school as far as
Yeah.
tennis is concerned. He's so passionate, right? In the sense, I have in my backyard, I bought him a bounce back net.
Mm,
So every day he goes, keeps on hitting it, and he goes to this club and he keeps playing. I mean, he makes me spend a lot of money on tennis
yeah, but
for his courses and all those things. And his birthday is coming, so he has already a big laundry list of all tennis gear, right?
okay.
A bat, couple of bats, and tennis bag and shoes, and so many things, and all related to tennis. He doesn't want anything else.
Hmm. He's passionate about it and he enjoys it, and
Yeah,
it seems like this younger generation, these kids are coming up, and it's no longer, oh, I just want to play the sport and do a few things. Like they have really dialed in on just excellent fundamentals and being able to, you know, we would be happy when I was growing up. I was happy just not to hit the ball over the fence. And now the kids are like, oh, hey, you want to see this trick? I can put the ball and put it in one corner, make it bounce into the other, and some stuff like that. It's like I'll put a spin on it, and like have all these very technical skills at an age that we were still just playing around, trying to even figure out how the game worked. So it's cool that he's passionate about it and that he's into it. And
yeah,
yeah, you can do it on a budget, but at the same time, when you really start getting serious about a sport or a career or anything, you have to invest in yourself and your equipment.
yeah, yeah. mean, since I'm seeing he's showing a lot of passion, I don't want to restrict him.
Hmm.
So I thought it's okay, we'll manage. But if he's having that much of passion, I thought I should support him and encourage him. I was trying to push the younger one. He wasn't. He
Well,
wasn't
he
showing that passion. But I recently put him in Muay Thai. It's
okay.
a martial art class.
Yep.
He's showing a lot of interest in that. So
Nice.
he wants all that gloves and all those gears for that. It's just about a week since he's been going, but he's showing a lot of interest in that. He
Is
likes it.
is he
So
coming home with sore ribs and sore shins?
not now, but probably he will. But I've seen them practice. They kind of hit so hard, and
Yeah.
but I think he needs it. I feel that these kind of martial arts or any sports helps them in better focus.
Hmm.
It's kind of a brain exercise for them as well, right? Instead of sitting on that mobile phones, I think some
Yeah,
activity is much better.
I agree. You know, I'm definitely on the mobile phone a lot due to work and also just due to pleasure, trying to make videos, doing a lot of just, quite frankly, just fiddle dicking around, not doing anything important, no value, the social media swiping, and I think that if you're a kid and you get into that, then you don't understand the importance of you feel physical health, interacting with people, and getting out there in a personal touch. So it's good that you have him involved in sports, and you know what? He'll learn how to take a hit and he'll learn how to give one, and that's very valuable to have in life.
Right, 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 right.
Yeah, I remember growing up and seeing Muay Thai and like some of the training where they have like the big belt that they
Yeah,
wear around and they're like, okay, like now take a kick in the stomach and it's just like whack.
yeah.
So,
I see them practicing all this. They have these big pads in their hands and they keep punching, and they have all those leg gears for the leg. I
hmm.
don't know, it's called something, whatever. They keep kicking and all those things. They keep pairing with a couple of people and then they spar. It's interesting to see. In fact, I was thinking it'll be nice for me to also go and try, but they're only kids. And I found another place called Rock Box Fitness. So
Okay.
that seems to be a little interesting for adults primarily, right? So it's a 1 hour of non-stop fitness exercise where you keep boxing, you kicking, and then you do weightlifting and all those things.
Oh wow.
So I went for some trial classes. It seems pretty interesting. So
Cool.
probably I will subscribe to that.
All right. Now, is it just exercise on your own with other people, or do you actually get into a ring and do the boxing?
No, we don't do boxing with each other. They have the chair drop one
Hmm.
side and they have a long pad with on the other side. So you do boxing. They said there's a trainer who keeps telling like no specific steps in terms of what you need to do, right? Right punch, left punch, upper shot, and all those things.
Hmm.
Right? I'm not getting those terminologies. So she does a few things and then she asks us to follow. So every 30 seconds they keep changing, and that happens for a complete 1 hour. Um, and then there's a round of boxing, the round of kicking. Then there are other exercises where you try to do push-ups, and there's a small weights you push, you pull those weights, and then you hang, and you do so many different kinds of exercises. So you keep on shifting. Every 30 seconds, you keep on changing. But that goes for an hour. You hardly get about 5 to 6 seconds gap in between. So by the time you finish that, you're like, I feel like I've lost 2,000 calories. It's like that.
Lose a couple pounds in water weight alone, just sweating.
Yeah, completely drenched. It's like that. But that's a good one. So first time I go, I feel so good. But second time when I go, I'm so hesitant. Oh my God, 1 hour, it's going to be tough. So
Yeah,
it stops me. But I think I have to make myself, um, push myself to go to it.
fair enough. Well, let's see. So we've talked about a little bit about work. We've talked, of course, about the fun shit we get to do. I'm going to ask you, what's probably right now, and we talked about your music, but what's what's really kind of your next big exciting thing for the next month? Like, what are you going to focus? Is it mostly on health, music? You're going to try to throw it all in? What do you think the next month's going to hold out for you?
So I've been doing music, work, tennis, and trading, right?
Stock trading? Oh, and it looks like we lost him. So we'll be right back, guys.
See me? Sorry.
And we're back. We dropped him for just a second. Yeah,
Yeah. So I think trading is something I want to learn, right? Particularly the
stock
options
trading.
trading,
Okay.
options and stock trading and options trading.
Hmm.
I'm going through some courses. I want to see if I can make a steady income. Then I want to leave my IT job and pursue my passion in music and tennis, right?
Okay.
So, uh, but this IT job is taking most of my time. So
Yeah, they
I
tend to
want to
do
see if
that.
I can find an alternate income.
Hmm.
Like, but trading is a very, very dangerous game, right? Unless you really are educated enough with all those things, different terminologies.
Hmm.
I don't think it's right to leave a job and then go there. So I'm doing that on the sides. So I'm trying to make a little bit of money there, like a few hundred every week.
Yeah.
Um, so once I learn more and be more confident, I think I leave my IT job. That's one
Hey.
thing I'm thinking of. So I want to more focus on trading, learning all those concepts, particularly on the options trading. It's more safer.
Hmm.
Um, I think that'll be my plan for the next 3 to 4 months.
Okay. Cool. I know I do a little bit of trading, and I'd say that I jumped in at the wrong damn time for sure because I started at the beginning of this year, and it's not my fault, guys. I did not cause the stocks to collapse, but damn it, did I take a bath learning and finding out about stuff I've invested in. So, anything that you have learned, I would love to hear about, and vice versa. We can talk about that, but it's good to be able to see the stock market, look at these businesses, learn about investing, learn about, how you can take and make a profit by seeing a good deal when you can buy one. And I think Warren Buffett said that his initial investment strategy was buying fair companies at great prices. And then his partner, I think Charlie Munger, was saying like instead of doing that, how about we buy great companies at fair prices? So that's how he started getting into very focused strategy for long-term holds. But options trading is a little bit different, guys. For those of you that don't know, options trading is where you either have a stock that you're looking to offer a contract for to sell, or you have a stock that you're interested in buying and you're willing to buy it at a certain price and you're selling someone the opportunity to provide you that stock at that price. Now, I'm oversimplifying it. There's a ton of stuff, and I may very well get my buddy Adam on here to talk about that in the near future because he does a lot of stock trading and is far more knowledgeable than I am. It's basically he's the one I go to amongst others online to get my info. So I wish you a lot of luck, and we'll talk more about that, buddy, because yeah, there's a lot of money to be made in the stocks, and I know it's been a rough year, but we can do it.
Yeah. See, the advantage of options trading is one, you can make money when the stocks go up.
Hmm.
You can make money when it goes down as well, right?
Right.
The only thing is you need to understand the trends. You need to follow very closely. And the losses are very minimal. It's not like that one day you come to the platforms. It's not like that. So even if you lose a trade, it's like a few $100, right? But if you win again, it's a few $100.
Right.
So it's a small, but it's safe. And still, if you know the trade, if you know those trends, if you know how to do option trading, you can make some decent money.
Absolutely. So we'll follow up in a few months and see how we're both doing. That'll be a check mark to follow up and see what methods we've used, what strategies, and what sources we've learned from. So I'll
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. We can talk about those things. It's pretty interesting to talk about those stocks.
And then it goes back to, you want to spend less time at work, and damn if I don't feel you on that one. But do you think that you would give up the job entirely, or do you think maybe you would do some consultative work in IT? Because I enjoy a lot of the work that I do, and I enjoy being a consultant and doing some of the things. And I think that having like maybe 3 months, 6 months out of the year where you go, you do a job very intense, and then you just relax. Like, is that something that you'd be interested in, or?
Uh, thing is that over the last 25, 30 years, been doing this job, right?
Hmm.
So music is something which I loved. I wanted to become a music composer. I've done small movies and things
Hmm.
like that, but I wanted to get more deep into it. That's something which I loved. Um, so I wanted to see if I can spend more time. But again, financial support is more important. As long as I've been able to make money
Hmm.
to run the family, take care of kids, and things like that, I'm not going to leave my IT job. And at
Right.
least it should take about 3 to 4 years minimum
Hmm.
for me to get to that state. Um, but hopefully, yeah, I will do that.
And
I mean, once I see some kind of standard income on the other side through
mhm.
trading and music, I'm not going to get into IT.
Yeah, and a lot of entrepreneurs I've spoken with, the idea is that you work toward getting your stability through your side hustle, which becomes your main hustle. And I think Damon John from Shark Tank was great about explaining how he started up Fubu. He did 40 hours a week at his 9 to 5, and then he spent 10 hours on his business. And he did this every week for like 6 months. And the business started making him enough money to where he's like, okay, let's see if I can go part time. And the 9 to 5 he was working at allowed him to drop down to like 32 hours. So then he started doing 18 hours on his business. So he kept that 50 hours a week, but he started pushing more and more from his 9 to 5 into his own business until eventually, he just moved into full time his own business, and he made a lot of money. So, and shameless plug, GS is the one who did the music for the intro for my morning gaming show, The God Who Weeps, also Sassa to Squatch. So if you catch that in the mornings and you hear that little ditty, that came from GS himself. So appreciate that one.
Thank you.
But yeah, I wish you a lot of luck, and I know that you've asked me to try to put some words on paper together, so I think I owe you that in the coming months as well. So we'll talk about stocks, we'll talk about music, and how I owe you a song, and who knows, I may actually sing on the show.
You should. You have a good voice.
I try. It's
Yeah.
purely genetics.
If you're not able to sing, we do rap. Okay.
That's I have no idea how you think that's easier for me. That's you're like, yeah, if you can't sing, just rap. I look at like Eminem and people that can just absolutely destroy the written language or the spoken language in a way that just boggles the mind with speed and articulation. I'm like, no, I can't rap. I was like, I'm lucky just to hum a few bars, but
Correct. Correct. Yeah. Mm.
but I'll put something together.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be waiting.
Good. Other than that, do you want to make a shameless plug for anything? So you've got your music that you're going to be starting up. We'll certainly put your website. You said you wanted to start that. If not now, the next time we'll put the links for that. Is there anything you want to say to the audience? Any positive words of wisdom?
Uh, I'm not that great to talk about it, but what I would say is pursue your passion um, while you are young and while you have the energy to do it. I lost a lot of time while I was always thinking and dreaming about music, being a music director, but other responsibilities and things, family, put things aside. But I think I would always recommend pursue your passion, take it seriously, whatever it is, and don't let it go.
Agreed. And wow. And I will have one other question. It'll make a good soundbite, and people will appreciate it. IT, is there anything right now as far as a trend do you think that people should learn about in order to either get into IT or have a better foothold on, a great gig, like any kind of coding or skill set or anything like recommendation if you wanted to either start or just get further along?
So IT, right now I am in an Adobe practice, right?
Hmm.
So, and I would say I would strongly recommend that Adobe is doing really well. They have a plethora of products where it kind of gives you a solution, end-to-end solution, and it's very easy to manage and maintain and things like that. Similarly, there are a lot of product-based applications, so which you can learn like Salesforce or Adobe. In Adobe, you have something like experience managers.
Hmm.
Those are really good. I mean, those are for people who just wanted to jump into IT, right? Doesn't need too complex coding and all. But for young generation, I think you should start with Java and then C, and then you can go ahead with Angular and any other JavaScripts, right? Those are the foundational coding skills. So if you learn that, then you can jump into any other technology. That should be easy.
Fair enough. So start your Java chops or database things like that. We'll talk about that in the link below. And then, of course, Adobe. Adobe does have a powerful suite. I know we use that at one of our clients, and they can really give you, as a end user, as business especially, the power to both serve up unique content targeting individuals and audiences, as well as give you the analytics for what you should do in terms of how you can provide best value to your customers and clients and prospective customers as well. So, a lot of really interesting stuff. It's not Adobe's not just Photoshop, guys. Fun fact. It's a lot more than that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, many large organizations are moving into Adobe for their digital assets management,
Hmm.
right? Primarily, because now Adobe's digital asset manager has gone to cloud,
Yep.
so it's much more easy to subscribe to and then move to that. They support a lot. It's really very interesting the way they have built the product and made a lot of things pretty easy. Right? It's no more that complex to set up something like a digital asset management. It's like very easy. So it's a wonderful product and it's easy to learn. Right? It's not so complex. Also, it's all crowd. It's all what do you say? Um, less of coding and more
It's
of
more drag and
configuration.
drop configuration because
Yeah, drive configuration kind of setup and all. Unless you want to go too deep into customizations and all, then you have to do a little bit of coding. But the out of the box features are really wonderful. I think that is more than sufficient for any organization to move to Adobe. Right? It's more than sufficient.
agreed. And it's I cannot remember what Adobe Target. I was like, how can I not remember that? But Adobe Target was the software that I'd mentioned just a little bit ago. And you take Adobe Experience Manager and you're able to hold these digital assets. And for people that don't know, a lot of my subscribers have no idea what Adobe Experience Manager is, Adobe Target, and all these things. So the cloud will hold all of your pictures. It'll hold digital information such as certain words you want to post, the types of images, the sizes of images, even the form and framework. And then you can use things like Adobe Target to say, I want people who live in this zip code to get these pictures and this information, but people who log in from another zip code would get a different type of information and experience. So, and I am really broad stroking here. You can be very, very specific, but I want to make sure that people who aren't necessarily experts are able to understand that it's a powerful tool. It means that people who live in California, people who live in New York, people who live in Florida, people who live in Chicago would get similar things based on the fact that they're in big cities, but they would get different things based on their time zone, things that are important to them, things like local weather. You can serve these things up all dynamically and uniquely, and it's super cool because you can do this for a single customer and it has a personalized experience. It really allows that client to reach out to their customers and feel like a personal experience for each individual user. So that's the power of that. That's why GS is into it. That's why it's really popular and they sell a shitload of business every year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
They're so good.
Well, on that note, GS, really appreciate you coming on, man. Been good to see
It's
you
a
and talk
pleasure.
to you.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll have to get you, like I said, three months from now. We'll do a spot check, see how we're doing on stocks, music, and maybe explain if there's any questions about Adobe for some
Yeah,
people.
sure, sure, definitely. We should talk about it.
Yeah, and your journey from being a delivery engagement lead, one of us, the good guys, as opposed to a sales guy, one of those guys, one of those terrible people that we complained about so much.
I am actually not completely moving into the sales guy. I'm there in between. So I'm also a delivery guy and also supporting the sales guy. So uh, taking the best of both worlds.
There you go, perfect. Well, great. Well, again, thank you so much, and guys. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. Leave some comments. I'll pass them along to GS. I'll leave any information below so that you can reach out to him directly as well. But thank you again, and you guys have a great rest of your evening.